Hello my dear students, how are you all? I hope all of you are fine. So today I am going to start the next topic, that is inheritance of two genes, or it is also called as dihybrid cross. So far we have studied up to monohybrid cross. Monohybrid cross we have seen, then exceptions of law of dominance we have seen. Then in the previous video I discussed about the test cross and back cross. Now I am going to discuss about the inheritance of two genes, or it is also called as dihybrid cross. What is the meaning of dihybrid cross? Dihybrid cross means when we study the inheritance pattern of two genes, or we can say when we study the inheritance pattern of two characters simultaneously, then the cross that is performed is called as dihybrid cross. So again I am saying, what is the meaning of dihybrid cross? When we study the inheritance pattern of two characters, or we can say two genes, then the cross that is performed is called as dihybrid cross. Clear? Actually this dihybrid cross is nothing but combination of two monohybrid cross. Dihybrid cross is combination of two monohybrid cross. This statement I will prove after when I teach this topic. This I will prove. Clear? So we have to see, we have to understand this dihybrid cross with the help of cross that was performed by the Mendel. And the character that was taken by the Mendel to explain the dihybrid cross was the seed property. And in the seed I told you Mendel studied two characters, seed color and seed shape. Just a recall for you. So I told you in the case of seed color, the dominant color was yellow and the recessive, this is the dominant, and the recessive color was green. Okay. Similarly, seed shape, we studied the seed shape also, and the dominant trait in the seed shape was the round. It was the dominant trait, and the recessive trait was wrinkled. Recessive trait was wrinkled. Now we have to carry both these characters, seed color as well as seed shape. Then what will be the result? That we will see. So I told you what was the work culture of the Mendel. He took true breeding pea plant varieties. One will be true breeding for the dominant trait and other will be true breeding for the recessive trait. So one parent will be round shaped seed with yellow color, and this will be crossed with a wrinkled shaped seed with green color. Okay. So a round shaped seed with yellow color will be crossed with another pure pea plant which have the wrinkled shaped seed with green color. Then can you tell me what will be the genotype here? The genotype will be capital R, because here the dominant trait is the round, and alphabet we always choose on the basis of the dominant trait. So capital R and capital Y, it is crossed with small r, small y. These are the parents. These are the genotype. Then after writing the genotype, you have to write the gametes. Gametes here very simple. Only one type of gamete will be here. Capital R, capital Y, and here small r, small y. Even though four gametes will be there, but all the gametes will be similar. All will have this genotype, capital R, capital Y, and then here small r, small y. So these are the gametes. Next step is fertilization, and that fertilization we represent in the form of Punnett square. So here only one type of gamete I have considered, even though 4 will be there, but 4 will be similar. That's why only one I am considering. So male and female, any of them will be treated as male or female, the result will not change. So this one I am treating as male and this one I am treating as female. Clear? So this will be capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. This is the genotype at F1. And in the board examination, very famous question is that what is the genotype and phenotype at F1. So genotype, just now I want you capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. One thing you should know, that in the board examination the character may be changed. So you have to choose the alphabet on the basis of the character. While checking the paper, I am saying whatever the character I am giving, you always give the answer in this format. Even if I ask the stem height, or if I give the character of the flower color or flower position, you always choose this alphabet. That answer will be wrong, because alphabet is always chosen on the basis of the dominant trait. Okay, that's why you are losing the marks. So this is the genotype of the F1. Then what is the phenotype? Round shaped seed with yellow color. Means you can say in the F1 you can see again law of dominance is applicable. So out of the two parents, only the character of dominant trait is expressed in the F1. Clear? Then what is the next step? Next step is selfing. Selfing means two members of the F1 will be crossed. Means F1 will be crossed with the F1. Then what will the result? That we will see. So capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. This will be crossed with capital R, capital Y, small y. Now here you should know the proper method of making the gametes. So to make the gametes, just to separate all of them. Here also. You have to separate. After separating, you have to make the possible gametes. So this first you choose this capital R. One possibility is that this capital R can be with capital Y. So capital R, capital Y. This another possibility is that this capital R can be with small y. So capital R is small y. Now I think with this capital R, these two possibilities are over. Don't take this capital R with small r. Okay, because they are coding for the same character. Then you take this small r. So one possibility is this one, small r, capital Y. And one possibility is this one, small r, small y. And similarly, if you make gametes here also, you will find the same gametes. Capital R, capital Y, capital R, small y, small r, capital Y, and small r, small y. Now, these are the gametes. And after gametes, you know that system is fertilization, and that fertilization we represent in the form of Punnett square. So here, how many rows and how many columns? 4 rows and 4 columns. Since 4 different types of gametes are there. So, male and female. If you write the gametes, capital R, capital I by capital R small y, small r capital Y, small r small y. Here also capital R capital Y, capital R small y, small r capital Y, and small r small y. Then capital R capital R capital Y capital Y. So it will be round yellow. Here capital R capital R capital Y small y. This will be again round yellow. Here you can see capital R small r capital Y capital Y. Here also the phenotype will be same, round yellow. Okay. Here capital R small r capital Y small y, again round yellow. Here again capital R capital Y small y, round yellow. Here capital R small y small y, capital R small y. Therefore the character will be round and green. Okay. Here capital R capital Y small y, again round yellow. Here capital R small small y. So again here the phenotype will be round green. Capital R small r capital Y, so round yellow. Here capital R capital Y small y, round yellow. Small r capital Y. Here again a new character, wrinkled yellow. Here again you can see small r capital Y small y means wrinkled yellow. Then capital R capital Y small y, again round yellow. Here capital R small y round green. Then small r capital Y small y, it is wrinkled yellow. And here there is small r small y, it will be wrinkled green. Clear? So this is the complete Punnett square. Now what is the phenotypic ratio here? Phenotypic ratio that you should have studied in class 10th also. Okay, so it will be 9:3:3:1. So 9:3:3:1. And in that 9 will be round yellow, 3 will be round green, 3 will be wrinkled yellow, and 1 will be wrinkled green. One will be wrinkled green. So you can see here, this is the phenotypic ratio. Genotypic ratio will be a little complicated since many possible genotypes are there, but that I will simplify to you. That trick is there. Twelve 24 1 2 1 2 1. 12 24 1 2 1 2 1, and just you have to put a ratio between all of them. If you count them, it will come 16 because 16 genotypes are there. If you count them, it will come 16. Okay. Now, on the basis of this cross, Mendel gave second set of generalization, and he gave a law that is called as law of independent assortment. Law of independent assortment. So this law of independent assortment was given on the basis of the dihybrid clause. What is this law that I will discuss? But if you see in this phenotype, you will find a difference. In the case of monohybrid, you see only two possibilities were there. Means the phenotype was from the parents only. Means there was no hybrid formation. Means either the plant was tall or dwarf. But what happened when Mendel took two contrasting pair in a dihybrid? He found that the segregation of one pair of trait was independent of the other pair of trait. You understand this one? If I ask you, out of these 16 plants, how many of them have how many of them are hybrids? What is the meaning of hybrid that you should know? Hybrid means that plant which has the property, or we can say which has the character of two different plants. Hybrid plant is that plant which have the property, or we can say which has the character of two different plants. So out of these 16 plants, can you tell me how many hybrids are there? Means can you see any plant which is different from both the parents? The original parent was round shaped seed with yellow color, and it was crossed with the wrinkled shaped seed with green color. But here if you see these three, round green and wrinkled yellow, whether this character was present in any of the parents? No. Round yellow was present, wrinkled green was present, but none of the parents had this character, that it was a round shaped seed with green color and wrinkled shaped seed with yellow color. So they are the examples of hybrids. And if I ask you what the percentage, how many? 6 out of 16. So the percentage of hybrids in Mendel dihybrid clause is 6 upon 16 into 100. It will come around 37.5%. Means these are the hybrids. Then rest all are what? They are having the parental character, because you can see round yellow was present in the parents, as well as wrinkled green was also present in the parents. Clear? So on the basis of this dihybrid clause, Mendel gave law of independent assortment. What does he told in this one? When two pairs of contrasting traits are combined in a hybrid, segregation of one pair of trait is independent of the other pair of trait. Okay, when two pairs of traits are combined in a hybrid, segregation of one pair of trait is independent of the other pair of the trait. Okay, actually that is the reason that hybrids are formed. You see, the segregation of each character, round character, green, wrinkled, yellow, all of them segregated independently of each other. Okay, they segregated, or we can say they separated independently of the each other, and that is the reason that hybrids were formed in the F2 generation in Mendel dihybrid cross. So if I ask you what is the reason behind the formation of hybrids, then the reason is law of independent assortment, which states that when two pairs of traits are combined in a hybrid, segregation of one pair of traits is independent of the other pair of traits. Clear? So this is the complete explanation of the dihybrid clause and law of independent assortment. Okay. One alternative form of this law again I will discuss, but I will discuss in the next video. Okay. But this is the exact Mendel dihybrid cross. Okay. So this is all for today. Thank you.